Looking back on the game against Cardiff Met on Sunday, Andy, although it was a 6-2 defeat, with the New Saints women leading 2-1 for a long spell in the game, it looked for a while that the upset was going to be on.
Well, it was a very competitive game, and I think the girls had done really, really well for that first hour or so, as you say. We'd earned the right to be in the lead with two really well taken goals. I think it's fair to say that the longer the game on, the experience of Cardiff Met and the quality began to show, until eventually they'd knocked on the door several times. They got the equaliser. The equaliser was then, I guess, the moment that opened the game up a little bit more. And we conceded several goals in quick succession, which obviously is a little bit disappointing. But I think overall we need to take incredible heart from that first 60-65 minutes. And let's not forget who Cardiff Met are and what they're all about. They're a high quality outfit with some really serious players within that group, and I think on the day the quality just rose to the fore.
The result against Cardiff Met means that the New Saints women are now guaranteed to be playing in the bottom four, the playoff conference in the second phase of the season. Is that something that you were expecting at the start of the season perhaps, and what opportunities does that run of games provide now for the team?
Well, realistically, I guess you could say we were expecting that. You never ever know, of course, until you start to get into the games programme. I think after sort of 4 or 5 games it was evident that we were going to be in that bottom four, and I don't think anything's changed. We would like to be in a position at the moment with a couple more points than what we have got, and I think, to be fair to our team, they deserve a little bit more than what they've got at the moment. It feels and seems as though some weeks we're not quite getting the rub of the green. I think if we look at games and periods within games, we've been incredibly competitive. We had a fantastic second half against Swansea, against Cardiff in the Cup. We did really well. We were leading in that game for a long time. And similarly at the weekend against Cardiff Met, we were leading for a long time. So we've shown that we've got something about us. I guess the answer or the trick lies in here, our team being able to put 90 minutes together with a view to, getting over the line and winning games, and that will obviously determine where we will finish in the second half of the season. I think in terms of opportunity, what we do know is that playing amongst those bottom four, that those teams are very, very evenly matched. There's very little between the teams, so we've got to work out as a group how to actually consistently win games.
You said in your pre-match press conference last week that in the next few weeks we do have a run of winnable games coming up, and this Sunday is one of those games. Aberystwyth Town, a team that the New Saints have already beaten this season.
Yes, but don't forget, where they are. They've got several wins under their belt, and they're competing in mid-table. So, excuse me, we may well have beaten them, but we haven't beaten other teams around us, whereas Aber have. They've beaten the other teams that are around us, the Port Talbots and the Barry Towns of this world. So clearly they've got a little bit more cohesion. They've got that level of competitiveness which is going to make this a really, really difficult game. So whereas the sides are evenly matched, we know that we've got to be performing at our top level if we want to come away with any points at the end of Sunday night.
Does that strike you as a surprise, that the fact that Aberystwyth have managed to turn those maybe draws and defeats that we've been picking up into wins?
No, I don't think so. To be honest, I've not really thought about it, because what other teams are doing is no real concern of mine or concern of ours. We've just got to concentrate on, our own growth and development as a group, as a team, and move our team forward. So I've not really analysed, their sort of status within this league too much, and I dare say they've probably not done the same about us. They'll be more concerned with what they can do rather than with what we can do, and the same applies for us.
Well, we've got one more training session coming up before the game tonight. Do you already have your starting 11 in mind, or are there still places up for grabs based on what you see at training tonight?
Yeah, we've got a fair idea of what we'd like to go with. Obviously, again, in the middle of the week, we're always cautious about are 1 or 2 players going to be fit? Do we need to rest 1 or 2 because they're carrying niggling injuries and one thing and another? But we've got a fair idea of what it is that we want, and I think I've gone on record in the past as saying if we can get the 11 players on the pitch that we want at the moment in time that we want them, then we're as good, as the opposition. So ultimately we'll just have to wait and see.
And just to round things off, what is the injury and availability situation looking like? Hopefully 1 or 2 players coming back into the team now.
We're just waiting for the AOK from James, the physio, for 1 or 2. We will be without 1 or 2 this weekend due to different circumstances following a very competitive game last weekend. And again, as I've said before, one player's misfortune is another player's opportunity. So the players always want game time. So ultimately it's up to them. If their opportunity comes, they've got to take it with both hands.